Electrochemistry. What will react? Let's expand a little bit on our previous discussion of voltages. We actually did discuss this a bit in the last video, but now we are going to put it in a bit larger context and do another example. In this video, we're going to extend our previous discussion on calculating voltages, and specifically the part of the discussion that involved deciding what was the anode and what was the cathode, to deciding what species will or won't react. For two species to react, you need an agent that can be oxidized and an agent that can be reduced. In a table of half reactions and voltages, this means that you need something from the left side and something from the right side. And in order to react spontaneously, the one on the left side must be more easily reduced than the species that's going to be oxidized, or the species that's coming from the left side. We can decide this very quickly and easily if we have a table of reduction values listed with the most easily reduced at the top, because any species on the right that is lower in the table will react with any species that's on the left higher in the table. So this is the diagonal rule. This diagonal rule tells us that picking one from each side ensures that we have one species that can be oxidized and one that can be reduced, and then picking the one on the right that's lower ensures that the reaction is spontaneous. And of course, if you wanted a non-spontaneous reaction, you would do the reverse. You would do the opposite diagonal rule, where you would be going this way. But the diagonal rule kind of specifically relates to spontaneous reactions. Here's a mini excerpt of a table. I took 5 reactions out of the larger table so that it's a bit more manageable to look at. It's still arranged with higher reduction potentials on top, and so our diagonal rule will still be the same. I ask you to identify the trend of what is easily reduced and the trend of which is more easily oxidized. Then I ask you to identify the best oxidizing and reducing agents, and to give us one spontaneous and one non-spontaneous reaction from this. Of course, there are lots of possibilities for the spontaneous and the non-spontaneous reaction, but we'll talk about one of each here. As with our normal tables, we can look at the reactants, and we can see that these are the species that are being reduced. Reactions with the higher reduction potentials are more easily reduced. So, the species on the left and higher up the table are more easily reduced. Similarly, we can see that things on the product side are able to be oxidized if their reaction is reversed. Things with lower reduction potentials have higher oxidation potentials. And so they are more easily oxidized. Anything that is easily reduced is a good oxidizing agent. And so species which are easily reduced will be your good oxidizing agents. And species that are easily oxidized will be your good reducing agent. Now, let's make some reactions. Again, there are many, many options here, but for the spontaneous reaction, we just need to follow the diagonal rule. And then for the non-spontaneous, do the reverse. So for our spontaneous reaction, let's pick these two. We'll leave the reduction reaction as is, since they're already written as reductions, and then we'll reverse the half reaction for the species that needs to be oxidized. So for the silver reaction, we'll reverse that equation. From here, we can do our voltages. I choose to do it the way where you change the sign and then add it up. As always, choose the way that works best for you. So I added the 0.95 with a 0.8 to give me 0.15. For the non-spontaneous reaction, we need to do the reverse of the diagonal rule. So we'll pick something to reduce that is lower on the table than our oxidizing reaction. I chose these two. We still need to make sure that the species are capable of being reduced is our reduction reaction, and so the zinc 2+ stays as the reactant. And then the nickel reaction will flip, and that will be our oxidation reaction. Whenever you write these, you want to ensure that you have one species being oxidized and one species being reduced, or it doesn't make any sense. If you make a mistake and leave both reactions the same, when you do this double check, you'll find that both are being reduced, and then you'll know that you made a mistake. So if you do this, you get the following reaction. Now, because of the way that this was written, you can see that 2 electrons are being exchanged, and there's no oxygens, so we don't really actually have to do any balancing for this. It's already all set and all balanced because we have 2 electrons transferring, and nothing else that isn't balanced. We can go ahead and figure out our voltage. Because our oxidation reaction is the one that switched, we will either think of it as changing the sign and adding it, or you can think about it as subtracting the negative, and that's okay as well, whichever you prefer. And this gives us a voltage of negative 0.53 volts. In review, we can use our table of reduction values, listed from high reduction values on top to low reduction on the bottoms, to determine which things will react. The diagonal rule is a convenient shortcut to the work we did in the previous video, looking for positive reaction voltages.